Today I will analyze my European Women Chess Championship games. The time control was 1 hour 30 minutes per person, and after each move we got 30 seconds increment, and after the 40th move we got an extra 30 minutes. I was with the black pieces this time, and my opponent was an international master. I also want to talk about the psychology of the games, because these are different games, right? These are classical games. Online games are completely different because, you take some time off to participate in such a tournament. There was one round a day. This was the first round. They are obviously different because you dedicate more time to this one game, right? While online, if you play a game, let's say even if you play a 30-minute rapid game, that's just different. That's just different because you might be happy or mad when a game ends online, but you will forget it fast because you can just click on the next opponent button and play against your next opponent, and there it goes. There your thought goes. While here, if you win, that's amazing. That's even a better feeling. So everything feels more magnified, if that makes sense. If you lose, then of course you might lose your will to live. No, I'm just kidding. Hopefully not. But you do question your life if you lose, especially if you lost a winning game. Because let's say you are winning, you play a 5 hours long game and you are winning in the first 4 hours. And then after, let's say the 4th hour, you blunder something and there goes your game. That's it. Imagine how mad one can be. Play online, also there are more distractions, while here you sit down. And I don't know, guys, if you have ever been to a chess tournament before, a serious chess tournament, but you enter the room and everything is just so silent. No one speaks. No one. And you can sense the tension there. Another thing I wanted to add to the psychological part of such tournaments is, well, yesterday I played on an over-the-board tournament. And it was fun, but it was not serious, not as serious as a European Women Chess Championship, right? For example, if there is a very serious tournament, if someone is losing, they have a face like this. If someone is winning, they have a face like this. No matter what's happening on the board, everyone has poker face, not showing emotions, or very rarely. That's fewer people than not. I personally try not to show my emotions during the game, even if I'm happy, even if I'm sad or mad or anything, or I'm about to cry because I blundered something. But yesterday on this amateur tournament, everyone was showing emotions and it was completely different vibes. For example, when I won a game and my opponent blundered something, my opponent was like, yeah, it was completely different vibes. But the first rounds are always a bit different. Just to also talk about the first rounds, it takes some mental energy to focus on the game better because you are not in chess mood yet. Because people not being in a chess mood yet, that's when the upsets happen more often, actually. In the first round, I was playing against an international master, Ukrainian player. She had 2332 rating points. At the time of the tournament, I had 2025 rating points. So we had a bit more than 300 rating difference. Well, now, maybe there are a few people who get scared that way, but that's not me. I love playing against stronger opponents because there is nothing to lose, right? If I play against them, then if I win, that's amazing. I will be super proud of myself. I will be super happy. I will be, really jumping around in happiness. If I lose, that's more or less the expected, right? So there is nothing to be ashamed of. I focused on playing a good game and whatever happens, happens. So my opponent played e4. I didn't prepare that much because if I remember well, she was playing like more or less everything. So it's really hard to prepare against someone who plays more or less everything. So she played e4, and I was happy because I don't have many c5 games yet. So it was more or less a surprise for her. Knight f3, this is still theory. I played the accelerated dragon variation, g6, bishop g7. This bishop will be great on the main diagonal. Bishop e3, bishop c4, castle. I was quite happy here. I was not using so much time because I studied this not long ago, so I learned this. I was quite familiar with it. And as a person who has time trouble very often, I like to play my opening fast to not lose time, so I can use it later. She played bishop b3, and this is, by the way, an opening that I learned on chess moods, and now there is a gentle reminder that I have a chess mood link. If you would like to sign up to chess mood, they have great openings. I learned this from there, and they have a new move here, a novelty, which is rook e8. Now this looks like a weird move. Why would we put the rook there? It's doing nothing behind the pawn. There is absolutely no sense, seemingly, behind this rook e8. But actually there is, because white will want to play queen d2, play bishop h6, but then I don't want this rook to be behind my bishop, because I want to keep this bishop. I want to have this fianchetto bishop, so I will want to move it back to h8. That's one purpose behind it. Plus, very often when I play, let's say, e6, d5, the e5 will eventually open up and then it will make sense there. So I played rook e8, she played f3, which was all expected. I kind of surprised her. If you look at her time here, you can see that she used some time. By the way, you can see the names and the time under me. I played e6, this is still theory. My plan is to bomb the center immediately with d5. She played f4, thinking that now if I play d5, now there will be e5, and that won't be great for me, right? Because I have space disadvantage and my pieces will generally be cramped. I have a weak d6 spot, and potentially my opponent can just jump in there, which is not so welcome. I didn't want to play d5. The theory goes with d6. I kind of remembered because I won a nice game in Sitges in December when I was playing in Spain with this setup against the 2200 rated, and I was hoping that maybe I could get the same result against the 2300 rated. So she still played knight bd5. Attacking my d6 pawn. Now I have to do something with this, right? I cannot just play d5 because, again, the story will be the same. I move my knight away and there will be this uninvited horsey coming to my face. And good luck kicking that out, right? So, I don't know. I don't feel nice with those horses in my face. So I, of course, didn't push d5, but then what else can we do to defend it? We cannot just leave it hanging there, right? Because that's actually an important pawn. It's controlling some central squares. So bishop f8 is the move what I played here, defending the d6. Now it might look like a waste of time, but after a6, which I want to play a6 in this setup and then play b5 potentially, I will win the tempo back because this knight will also have to move away. So it's not really a waste of time. I didn't lose tempo by this. So played bishop f8, she played queen f3. Probably not showing her cards yet where she is about to castle. Also maybe preparing f5 in the future because this bishop also looks like a dumb bishop, but it will become good. I mean, imagine after f5, this pawn disappears, suddenly the f7 will be attacked, and spoiler alert, something similar happened in this game, but we will see that later. So I played a6, kicking the knight out. Of course, I want this horsey to leave. Knight went back to d4, and here I played knight a5. The idea is to get rid of this bishop because this is a dangerous bishop like I mentioned before. Plus I will want to play b5, and if my opponent plays e5, opening up the diagonal here for the queen and attacking my rook and my knight, then I will be able to play bishop b7 with tempo, attacking the queen first, and then I will be saved. Because in my idea, in the Sicilian here, at least in the accelerated dragon, in this line actually, is to advance on the queen side. So with knight a5, I'm preparing to do this. Knight a5, castle, I played b5 like I promised. I will want to capture this bishop, but again, first I need to play b5, because if I capture it first, here, and now I play b5, now that's just crazy bad, because there will be e5, and again, my rook is asking for help, same with the horsey. So, and now I don't, and in this case, I don't have bishop b7, because now white will say, oh no, my queen, and then takes the bishop without any problems. I didn't want to take there first. I played b5, and she played f5. Normal move, right? She's trying to attack on the king side. That's her plan here, trying to attack my king, right? Which is quite uncomfortable. So first I captured, which is a normal move. Of course, I capture with the e-pawn. Taking with the g-pawn is just too bad. My king will be terrible. Also takes, and there will be big problems here with my king. Even though there might be a roll that capture towards the center, but not in this case. E takes f5, normal move. Okay, my rook is under attack right now. And here I played bishop b7. Also, if you look at the time, she has 37 minutes at this point, and I still have 1 hour 24 minutes. And you could blame me, but Fruji, this is a classical game. Why are you playing so fast? This is not a rapid game. This is not a blitz game. Yes, you are right, but this was one way for me to keep my time trouble away. Since I knew the theory, I wasn't thinking so much, because these were more or less obvious moves. And I know that these moves work, so I didn't want to spend time on this. But maybe she wasn't familiar with this rook e8 kind of line, so she was spending a lot of time. So during the game, you could see me walking around, checking games, feeling comfortable. Finally, I'm not the one being in time trouble. I had almost like 1 hour difference. That's like a great feeling. I knew this works, and I was like, okay, whatever happens, whatever she plays, I will figure it out at the board. I have the time. Here, she thought a lot. And I was like, okay, so we played bishop b7. Until now, everything happened in the game what I played in Sitges in Spain in December. So I was quite content with myself. I remembered from the analysis that everything was fine. In Sitges, my opponent played queen h3. And I was happy after that, because I just took the knight, takes, played bishop g7, and there, he played this. I went here, takes. He took, I took, and he went back to f2. This is what happened in my Sitges game, and from here I won later. But we have seen that game previously, so I'm not going to show you that. So I was expecting her to move away with the queen, but she was suspiciously thinking too much. And I was like, okay, so what happens if she captures here? I knew I would be still fine. It would be a fine position because I recapture, but takes. And I mean, okay, I am a piece up. She has a pawn for the piece, and my king is suspicious, let's be honest. So I was a bit hoping she wouldn't capture there. I was also thinking about some crazy line here, guys. What happens if f takes g6? And you could say, no, the queen is hanging. Yes, but bishop takes. She captures here first. Now this is a fork. I have to move my king away, and I have to be super careful where I move my king, because if I go to g7, I can resign later, because she will take with check, because that pawn is leaving anyway, so why not promote with check, right? And let's say I capture it. Now more pieces are coming to the attack, and suddenly this king is feeling a bit nervous. You see, rook will capture, and there are many pieces attacking here. So only move would be king h8. And now takes. Now you can promote to anything. I guess rook or queen makes the most sense, because those are more forcing. Let's say takes, queen takes, rook takes, and still my king is a bit feeling nervous here. Yeah, there aren't so many defenders, and white is just maybe too active here. So I was a bit nervous at this point. I was like, please, no, please just move the queen away so everything will be fine. Please just move the queen away so everything will be fine. And then what does she do? She caught this bishop and captured there. That was like, oh boy. I knew it was fine, but again, I was a bit nervous. I mean, you know, if an international master sacrifices a piece, then you start to be a bit nervous, even if you know that it's okay-ish, most likely. Also, if you look at the time, she thought 20 minutes on this move. Yes. Well, I have no choice but to recapture, right? There is nothing else. So I played that more or less fast, f takes. And here, well, again, I only have one choice basically, but to recapture. I did take my time. I'm actually not sure why I thought so much about this move, but yeah, taking with the pawn makes a lot of sense, right? Because if I just move away, then there will be an extra attacker in my face, removing an extra defender, so I have to capture. Now she played queen h3. Now there are some threats here. If the queen comes into h7, not sure what's going to happen there. You know, because the knight is pinned. Keep in mind the knight is pinned. The knight cannot capture there. I will have to put the bishop in between, but then there can be also some sacrifices. White will start calculating these sacrifices there, because now if the queen takes, then the other rook will come there. And I'm not sure. Of course, computer gives the most normal evaluation for this, 0, 0, 0. Nothing is wrong. White is fine. Black is fine. Everyone is fine, right? That's what the chess engine says. And we are like, okay, what on earth is happening here? I took my time here since I had time, right? Because I had to figure things out. Now I was on my own. I noticed this bishop might be a little bit too dangerous here, because as I mentioned, this knight will be in trouble. It will be also pinned. I only have the bishop as the defender. And again, my king is a bit risky. Of course, computer says there are two good moves here. The best move, very computer move, king g8. King g8 is the best move here. Well, I thought about it, but I was like, nah, I'm not sure. I mean, it makes sense, right? But on the other hand, you leave the knight alone, this pawn alone. That's why I disregarded it. I didn't want to move away with my king. Another move is bishop g7, but again, I was nervous about this move. Bishop g5. And again, this knight would be a bit weird. What happens if white doubles up the rooks on the f file? My knight is not so nice on a5, let's be honest. These pieces are unable to help. And also my rook is a bit limited, right? Because I need to control this e6 square. So, you know, I wasn't feeling it. And I thought, okay, since she sacrificed material, maybe it's time for me to sacrifice it back. So I captured on e3. This was a mistake. I shouldn't have taken it. But okay, at the board it's very hard to figure it out, right? She recaptured and I thought I would be fine. I was thinking about two moves, or well, a couple of moves. My one idea was queen d7, because now I have problems on e6, because the knight and the queen are looking there. So I was thinking about queen d7, queen e8, trying to exchange queens, because if I can exchange queens, then I might be fine, because then my king would be a bit less nervous, right? And another move I was thinking about is knight c4, just trying to bring an extra defender back to the game, closing the e-file after bringing it to e5, and I have an extra defender there. I really wanted to play knight c4 first, but for some reason I convinced myself that queen d7 it is. Oops, not queen e7, sorry, queen d7. And of course it wasn't. She played queen g5, and in my mind, I had this idea that I was so proud of this bishop. I was happy, okay, this bishop is controlling some nice squares, so at least this knight cannot join the attack. I just forgot about one tiny little detail here. My knight is pinned. That bishop is not doing such a great job as I thought. So I casually played bishop g7. I thought this would be a better idea, since I will want to hide most likely somewhere here, even if she gets the g6. So I played bishop g7, defending my knight on f6. And then I was happy, okay, I'm controlling these squares. Everything is fine. Nothing can happen there. And then she plays knight d5. And I'm like, what have I just done? But okay, at this point, it was too late. Because the thing is, now knight can take, right? Because she will call the arbiter. Now, bishop takes is again very suspicious, because if queen takes, suddenly that's a double attack. There we go. And there goes my rook, says goodbye, hello. If I don't take it, then I have serious problems on f6. There's 1, 2, 3 attackers, and I only have 1, 2 defenders on it, and I can bring my other one, which I did. I played queen d8. I was like, okay, if I can take this, then I can resign at this point. Those were my thoughts at this point. And actually it's +10, so I could have resigned. But okay, I was like, okay, let's still continue a little bit. So I played queen d8, and she thought some time here, but sadly it's game over. Whatever she plays, it's winning. I think she can even play king h1 and it will still be winning. You see, it's still +8. What she decided to do was rook takes. I recaptured, and then she played rook f1. And there is no way to get out of this. I mean, I can capture here, bishop takes, queen takes, but now where will this king go, right? Because now if I go here, then white suddenly says, oopsie doopsie, hello ladies and gentlemen. Now same goes here. If I go to f8, then again, check, and again, hello, 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 hello there. And g8 is obviously illegal, and my only square is king e8, but what am I doing with my life on e8? Like, nothing. Nothing. I'm on an open file, my king is naked, he forgot to put on some clothes, and the execution squad is coming after him. So here after rook f1, I said, thank you for the game. I wasn't happy with this game. It's not like I played very well. I was proud because I knew the opening, which is good for me because I didn't know openings from before, right? So I'm trying to fix that right now, and I'm happy I could. That was the positive moment. The bad moment was here, of course, after bishop takes f7, and I was so mad at myself because when I analyzed my sieges game, I did see that there was bishop takes f7, and I was like, okay, I could have analyzed it right there just to find out what's happening. But what does Frugy do? Ah, no, it's fine, no one will ever play it. And then Frugy goes to European Chess Championship, Ian plays bishop takes f7, and Frugy is like, oh, I chose the wrong plan, but good news is, at least whenever this happens in another game, now I will know it.